My Giants cap on because I'm celebrating today, and if I was gonna be running today, I'd probably have this cap on as well. Good morning, people. We are here today to kick off what is the 100th anniversary of our Beta Breakers. 100 years ago, Bob Vert in 1912 ran the first cross-country race in San Francisco. And he won that race in 44 minutes and 10 seconds, I think it was, right? And 100 years later, we are still celebrating that run. And the neat thing about it is that we not only kept the history of this, but we understand that Bob's grandson, Bob Burnett from Houston, Texas, in celebration of his grandfather's run 100 years ago, will also be running in this year's Beta Breakers race for the very first time. So wherever you are, Bob, we'll see you at 7 o'clock on Sunday, and hopefully you have a fantastic race, because it'll be one that I think will be a very celebrating race with our new sponsor, Zazzle, and all of the volunteers that we have. And today I want to present to you a host of people that will be speaking about not only this race, about the excitement that we have in hosting this wonderful race, to continue making it a part of the tradition of San Francisco, the fun part of San Francisco. And what I want to also let you know that while we have some new rules this year, we are also instilling a number of exciting things that we want to make sure the people who registered and the 100,000 spectators, the 55,000 registrants already experience just a wonderful event in the city. Now, it does start at 7 in the morning. That's what I call golfer's time in my own tradition. But it will start a little earlier, but it'll also end up at the Speedway Meadows in Golden Gate Park. That'll be the new kind of end where the party and the handouts will be had in the same tradition. So we'll not end in the beach, it will end at Speedway Meadows in Golden Gate Park. This year we're emphasizing it will be fun. It will be in the tradition that the Beta Breakers has always been. That is that you can wear any zacky, wacky uniform that you want. Unfortunately, my wife got rid of my Spider-Man outfit a long time ago, so I won't be able to do that. But I will be certainly watching all of the fun that people have. And then, of course, we'll have our people in the blue costumes this year, watching out for everybody else and their safety, making sure it's also the safest run that we have as well. But I wanted to take this opportunity to present to the executives of the Beta Breakers race this year a proclamation declaring it to be Beta Breakers Weekend in San Francisco. Come on up, Angela. Angela Bang. And Angela's our new general manager of Beta Breakers this year. And to kick it off, I wanted to make sure she got the proclamation that declares this. There are a lot of whereases here. You won't be able to read it while you're running in a race anyway. But to really kick it off in a positive way. So Angela, thank you very much for coming today. Angela's here today along with executives. She'll be speaking in a minute. We also have our public safety department, our police department that's here. They'll be talking about the new rules. I also want to make sure that you hear from representatives from our members of our Alamo Square Neighborhood Association, and of course our Red Cross Woody Baker is here as well. So I think to kick it off with the rules, Chief, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm gonna have to bring it down a little bit and be the rule guy, and then we'll pick it back up again with Happy Talk after that. I love the Beta Breakers. I've run the Beta Breakers. We've policed the Beta Breakers for a long time, but to make sure that it's here in another 100 years, we have to be safe and we have to be considerate of everybody along the route. So to that end, I want to remind everybody that this year, alcohol and floats have been banned. They pose a significant safety hazard, and they really do negatively impact the neighborhoods. They contribute largely to that, and again, we have to be considerate to everybody along the route. To keep everybody comfortable, I know when people are running, it's a long race, but it's only about a quarter of the length as a marathon is. And if you got to go, you got to go. But please hit one of the 1,200 plus porta potties that are going to be along the route instead of going in somebody's garden. That would be much appreciated by everybody along the route. Again, zero tolerance for the public drunkenness or the public consumption of alcohol. And we will be exercising with as much discretion as we can, strict enforcement on anybody that's influencing anybody else's good time or their neighborhood. So the nuisance behaviors just got to go away in favor of good, clean fun. So have a blast. Beta Breakers.
See, the chief was pretty cool about it. He's not heavy-handed at all on this. General Manager of our Beta Breakers, Angela Fang. Come on up, Angela.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to thank everyone here today for working with us over the last year to put together what we believe is going to be one of the best, the most fun and memorable occasions for this race. And in honor of this 100th running, we'd like to give to Mayor Ed Lee the bib number 100 in commemoration.
Ross Mercarimi, Supervisor Mercarimi, has been very steadfast in his participation on this, and to say a few words from his office, Robert Selna. Is Robert here? Come on, Robert.
Thanks very much. Supervisor Mercarimi is at the Coastal Commission today, so was not able to make it, but he asked me to pass on a few words to say, first of all, thank you very much to the city and race organizers for doing a fantastic job and getting people ready for this race. And also just that it's a wonderful thing that we're celebrating the 100th anniversary of this race. The race will spend, and racers will spend most of their time in District 5. And the district is geared up for this, and Ross is really excited about a happy and fun and safe Sunday for everybody involved, including athletes, families, children, and all the attendees. So he just wanted to pass that on and say thank you very much to the city.
All right. I understand that Ross is not here because he's practicing his speech, so he can make that speech during the race, right? Ben Allison, you're a member of the Alamo Square Resident Association. Come on up, Ben.
Thanks, Ed, so much for having us. I represent Alamo Square Neighborhood Association, and yet we got together this year and formed a big group of 9 neighborhood associations. And I want to read those to you because I want you to know the community involvement that was there. North of Panhandle Neighborhood Association, Alamo Square Neighborhood Association, Hayes Valley Neighborhood Association, Lower Haight Merchant and Neighborhood Association, Divisadero Merchants Association, Buena Vista Neighborhood Association, Haight Ashbury Improvement Association, Coal Valley Improvement Association, and Inner Sunset Park Neighbors. We got together after the race last year, and we formed a big group, and that's when we sort of made a lot of changes for the race. And we got together, the mayor's department, Supervisor Mercarimi, the police department, the Beta Breakers organizers, and all the neighborhood groups. So what happened is we got together and we butted some heads and formed some new rules, and all that came out with all the help of the organizers. And we want to thank these guys so much, George, Ridsley, Angela, Sam, for all your help that you did for us. As the neighborhoods, that we were a little bit mad with what was going on with the previous years, and we just kind of wanted to set a little bit more rules going on. So we want to thank the police officers also who came in, Captain Mannix and Captain O'Leary, and also our new chief here, friends. So anyway, we just want everybody to come out and have a great time with the race. We're there. We're going to have ambassadors running around and meeting and greeting everybody. So thank you so much for coming out and have a great time.
Thank you, Ben. And I know that you have at heart that while we have a great event, we also have neighborhoods that it's running through, and that's where we want to make sure that this race protects everybody and also is sustainable for all of the neighborhoods in San Francisco that it goes through. So I want to thank everybody for being here. It is about fun. We're going to have over 155,000 people, spectators and runners in the race. We are emphasizing that this race will continue This is the first of 5-year commitment from Zazzle, and that's a great name for people who are sponsoring this race. And I also want to, again, give a shout out that Woody Baker Khan, the Red Cross will be out there helping our police department, our Department of Public Works will be there cleaning up everything. Hopefully they don't have to work too hard. So let's get off to a great Beta Breakers race. Thank you, everybody.
It looks better in the Spider-Man suit.
Yeah. Mayor Spider-Man. That's a nice ring to it. Cool.
I mean, I hope that the weather people are as wrong as they were yesterday and today. It's warm. Obviously, we're emphasizing, a safe race, but I would love the people to have a wonderful experience. Hopefully, the rain's not here, and over 55,000 people will actually serious runners, and there'll be a lot of spectators, and I think they will have a lot of fun as well. So.
Now, you have ran this race yourself, correct?
No, I have not.
Oh, I thought you said you did.
No, I
have. You thought about it?
I thought about it, but I've actually got to open up a farmer's market in my own district, so I committed to doing that morning. But I'll be watching. I might sneak out there. You never know.
What is your main concerns about this race?
Well, I do want the race to be in the tradition of successful events that the city's always hosted. Having said that, all of us have been somewhat concerned as the extreme participants in the race or spectators have gone into people's property and really soiled it and kind of made a mess, kind of little extreme behavior. We need to control that, and we need to remind people, if you're here to participate in a race or observe and see good friends, that's great. We welcome that. If you're here purely to get drunk and act out negatively, we don't want that, and we'd rather you stay home if that's your intention. Just like a little better planning for people and their objectives here. Once they come here among friends, you don't have to be completely inebriated to have lots of fun in this city. This city is all about really natural fun and enjoying the natural climate that we have. And we'll be emphasizing that along the way, and our police department will be watching out for behavior that kind of leads the wrong way.
Do you feel the pain that the property owners might be experiencing when they find this in front of their home the next morning?
Oh, of course. Not only feel it, you smell it. I want to make sure that the neighbors continue supporting this event, and that's why Ben and others from the Neighborhood Association are so important to involve, because it goes through neighborhoods. Right. It doesn't go through downtown, if you will, or streets that are commercial and empty. It's people's neighborhoods, their front lawns. And I know that these neighborhood associations would rather see a whole bunch of kids having a lot of fun than people doing the things that they may have been pictured doing in the past year.
Mayor Lee, if I may, is the city hurting itself by paying too much attention to the negative aspects of the race? Because a lot of tourists have come in specifically for this, and it seems to have been forgotten. What about that?
Well, that's why we're celebrating today. We're not trying to forget the traditional fun that people have had. We want to restore that. But we do have to make a reminder that people may have lost that part of the race, that it is for fun for everybody, not just their own selves. When you enjoy the company of over 150,000 other people, you got to look out for them as well. So it's a little selfish for people to think they're the only ones that are going to have fun in their own way to the expense of everybody else. So we just want to remind people this is a group community type of event and not one that's solely for their own enjoyment, that they can act out in a way in which is irresponsible to others.
On that note, I've talked to merchants who want to make this a week-long event. What do you think about that?
Wow, well, if that brings in another 150,000 people to the city, I'm open for it. Thank you. Thank you.
Environmentally engineer around these houses with barricades and postings to try and keep the runners in the street while they're going back past the houses. We're really pleading with the runners to be considerate of all the residents. Don't go to the bathroom in somebody's property. You wouldn't want them to do it in yours. And again, the New York Marathon has somewhere around 600 porta potties. We're going to have more than double that in a race that's a quarter of the distance. So there will be no shortage of porta potties. Please use those. And just again, really try and be considerate of everybody else, so we make sure that we keep this race going and in San Francisco for as long as anybody's going to be able to see.
If you don't mind, just a final question. You're in there as this title as the chief for a short time so far. How do you find this job to be? Are you happy?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm so happy to be the chief of police. I can't believe the opportunity that Mayor Lee gave me. I'm a native San Francisco, so this is a dream come true for a city kid.
But I mean, do you find a lot of challenges facing you in doing your job? Or?
Oh yeah, it's definitely. I mean, there's going to be challenges. It's definitely a full-time job. I've found over the last 10 days. But again, there isn't a minute that I wouldn't put into this job for this city that I grew up in.
I think the most important thing is that the officers are backing you up. I got the feeling myself that we're really happy to see you get the job because it can internally, they're happy to see one of their own go up to that rank. I mean, I would be.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they've been great to me. I mean, I love the men and women of this police department. I think they're the best cops in the world. I think that we're one of the smartest police departments in the world. And I think on Sunday at Beta Breakers, you know, the savvy of the officers of when to go and when not to go and when to exercise their discretion and when not to is just absolutely priceless with events as big and as dicey as the Beta Breakers can be when it comes to making sure everybody has a good time.
Hey Chief, sir, if I may, do you know what the cost for police coverage of this is going to be for the Beta Breakers?
You know, we never know what the cost of an event is until it's over with, but this event is a full cost recovery event, so that with regard to police services, there'll be no cost to San Francisco.
When you say full for my viewers, what is full cost recovery mean?
It means that the sponsors and the race pay for all the police along the route. No general fund money pays for the police on Sunday.
Will there be more police this year, say, than last year or the years before? Or?
Yeah, there'll be more cops this year than last year.
Thanks so much. Chief, sir, about the issue at the Jefferson Hotel that Jeff Adachi had, the public defender had the press conference on 2 days ago now. What's your view of that?
Well, what I did was we pretty much shut down all the other investigations that our Internal Affairs Division was doing and focused entirely on getting answers to the questions the public may have with regard to this latest video. The character of the officers of the San Francisco Police Department is got to be above reproach. It's so important to me and to the officers. So we're going to leave no stone unturned to get answers to all the questions, and as soon as I have them, and I hope to have them in the immediate future, I'll get that out. We'll have a press conference, we'll put it out full transparency, and if something was done that was dishonest or shows any absence of integrity, I have no tolerance for that, and there will be discipline all the way up to and including termination.
What was when you first saw the videos, what was your thought? Were you surprised, angry, shocked? Were you?
No, I mean, there appears to be a bag that we can't tell where it came from, but then all of a sudden it was there. So we need to find out about the bag. I think all the other issues that Mr. Adachi raised are subject to what should be argued over in court by lawyers.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Good to see you. Yeah, nice to see you. It was when we were at the NPC luncheon. It was my idea about charging the tour buses.
Oh, okay. Okay. So have you got that done yet? Oh, good.
Excellent.
All right.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, everybody
Take care. Thank you.
Bye.
I have to get Marie out of the front door.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Sorry.
Oh, she's like, oh no.
Well, she's
All right, appreciate you having me. That's good. Nice of you. Hey, so give me a flavor for how the talks went. Were they contentious at one point, or did they?
When they first started, it was sort of everybody coming to the table, and you had to hash it out and put everything on the table and pick it apart, and then make sense of it all.
Yeah. I've ran the Beta Breakers 19 times. I go all the way back to 1988. What changed over that time that made the Beta Breakers suddenly a controversy, or was it always a controversy and just never really came out?
No, I think it got worse and worse. Is what happened the last 4 years. It became really contentious. People really became out of control. The crowds were just drunk. They would arrive inebriated at 8 in the morning.
Is it society? I actually want to turn around so you can keep a better eye on your kid too.
Yeah.
So yeah, no problem. That way you're not. Yeah, there you can see.
There, how's that? Okay.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. Is it society or a social change? Because, for example, you used to be able to go to North Beach and have fun, and now we have problems in North Beach. But what is it that's caused this change in the Beta Breakers over the past 20-something years?
Gosh, I don't know. It's just. I mean, I used to run the Beta Breakers every year, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But then it just seems like in the last 3 years, it's like reached the tipping point where things just, get out of hand. And I don't know if it's, it just seems like people are drinking a lot earlier, that there are more people. And so, just where you have more and more people who are under the influence and not really having their good judgment. When you just have more and more people, it just seems to.
I got to say too that
cause
I think that it's in terms of the enforcement of the laws and everything too. That this year we've gotten a lot more tie-in to the enforcement of it, and that's really going to help, I think. Because in the past years, people just think it's a free day to do whatever the hell they want to do, and it's not a free day. You're still responsible for what you do, and that's kind of what the problem has been.
And one of the things that that was so distressing last year was that we had a neighbor who, an older gentleman, and he was hosing down his steps and trying to stop people from urinating or vomiting, on their house, and people kicked him.
Kicked him?
Kicked him, and and it's just when it reaches that point, when you're kicking somebody who is saying, "Hey, don't pee on my steps,"
right?
Something needs to change. You've just lost civility. So we're really hopeful that we can, have a really fun.
So that she can run it. She can run it. That's right.
Yeah. But we're really hopeful that we can have a really fun, safe, wacky day. And that everyone just has a really great time because it's a great San Francisco tradition.
Are you two satisfied that all of these issues have been hashed out and to move forward?
Gosh, I mean,
there's always issues. There's always something that's going to come up that makes it. This year, new ones will come on. So it's a work in progress. We just keep trying and trying to do our best to make it better and better, and that's all we can really do. It's just. But we're impressed by the fact that everyone is willing to sit around the table and talk about it and try to even the race organizations were doing that this year, and they really understood that we really had a problem in the neighborhoods, and they've been over and said, well, okay, no floats, we'll do that this year. That's okay.
So I think it's safe to say that we're cautiously optimistic. People have put hours and hours and hours of work and effort into this, and we're so hopeful that it turns out to be a good day.
And I want to get your names for the camera too again.
Sure. I'm Lisa Zahner, and I'm the president of the Alamo Square Neighborhood Association.
And
Ben Allison, and I'm with Alamo Square Neighborhood Association.
Ben was the president last year, so I had to step into his big shoes.
New president.
Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.